Welcome to your review on Per Scholas. Um, so basically, this video is me. I'm going to be reading through the page and kind of giving my thoughts on um, Per Scholas. I went through the program. I was the valedictorian of my class, which was really interesting. And 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 four of us got jobs right after the program, as a SOC analyst. So that's that's just a quick. I guess if you don't want to stay, if you want to just kind of hear like, well, did you get a job? I'll just tell you that up front. But the purpose of this video is to kind of go through it or kind of go through the program and kind of go through like the website, because I know when I first decided to do the program, I thought it was a scam. I was like, free, it can't be that great. So I had all of those type of feelings, I guess. So yeah, so let's just jump into it before I ramble on all day. So I did the cybersecurity program, um, and it was cool, right? And I met a lot of people. I worked with some of the people that I went to the program with. I started the program in November of last year, and I've been in my role for about 7 months, 8 months. So yeah, so let's just jump into it. First off, I enjoyed my program. I enjoyed my tech lead. Shout out to Vic and Ty. I enjoyed just the whole process, my career coaches and such. Um, so yeah. And before I jump into it, I do want to preface. I do have a degree. I have a degree in finance, so I switched over from being a business analyst, technical business analyst, to a cybersecurity analyst within the SOC, right? All right. So first, we're gonna kind of go through the website, and then I'll explain, you know, the real what really happens throughout this whole thing. So so this course level says some technical knowledge, recommended. I do recommend some technical knowledge just to give you, you know, because that's what I did. So before, I did have some technical knowledge in terms of getting requirements. I understood how to speak sort of like tech language, but I also, like a month before I found out, it was like a month before the class started when I found out that I was accepted. I studied for the Security Plus, passed that, so I went into the program with Security Plus knowledge because I had like a month, or maybe a little bit over a month before it started. So it gave me plenty of time to study and read all of Daryl Gibson's the whole entire book and do all of his stuff. I do a video on that, but I did it was a lot of resources that I went through. So yeah, I think some technical knowledge will help you because when you go in, a lot of the elementary topics that they'll go over, you will be able to ask better questions, more in-depth questions on those elementary topics, which will, instead of you just being here and let's say you learning something or seeing some term for the first time, instead of you just being here and then stating that term, you can say, okay, I thought about that, but I also have this follow-up question, and this could have been something you studied, months before you started the program. So yeah, some technical knowledge is required, and basic things like understanding how to troubleshoot and things of that nature, because that's going to come in later, especially when it comes to trying to troubleshoot things with your VM or getting things right with packet tracer. But we'll get into that. The CISA Plus. Now you will get certified if you pass, but you should pass. Now for me coming in after taking the Security Plus, the CISA Plus was fairly straightforward. I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was fair. It was just like any other exam that I would take. I almost feel like the Security Plus was um, a little harder because I didn't study those terms. I felt like it was a ton of terms when I was going through the Security Plus, but the CISA Plus, the only thing that I really found hard was it was like a simulation. The simulation was um, kind of difficult, I guess, but I don't know. I still feel like the Security Plus simulation was a little bit harder. So yeah, so you should get that. You will get it at the end of the class if you do the study properly. Um, so yeah, so now going to the schedule. The schedule says 9 to 4. I got up and started early because I like to read all the material before I start. So I make sure I didn't forget anything from last night. So I might probably start at 8 or maybe even 7. Um, the whole class might not be in, but I'll start prepping myself for the day, right? Getting my security readings in, and then asking like questions based on what I read and seeing any questions that I had for the previous day and making sure I got my project done. Because this nine nine to four is probably like 9 to 9, 9 to 10 because you will have like a bunch of homework, a bunch of challenges, many challenges, right, that you'll have to do and that you'll have to turn in. And some of it is challenging and some of it was okay, but I found some of it was challenging, especially the networking portion. I found the networking portion to be the most difficult in the entire class. The security part was probably the easiest, but the networking was definitely the most challenging in terms of the projects and such. But you get through it fine. Uh, so it says, how to become a business or how to become a security analyst. So you talk about this um, critical critical skills. Hmm. All right. So in this part, yeah, when it comes to critical thinking, you will be able to develop that in terms of you'll look at the questions that you have and you'll start thinking in the ways of how would I solve this problem from a security perspective, you know. So yeah, I think it would this course would help you in developing your critical thinking skills within this field. I agree with that. Especially if you push yourself forward, right? If you actually say, I'm not going to sleep until I finish this project, or hit one of your teammates up like, hey, let's try to work together on this because I'm getting stuck here. They help you in one part and then you'll help them in another part. So teamwork, you do a lot of that too. So that'd be great. Our industry recognized credential at no cost. I don't even think I feel like the CISA Plus isn't on any job applications. It's not on. I don't hear a lot of people ask for it. I almost feel like this isn't. I don't know, industry recognized. I guess I'll leave that up to you all to do your research, but I feel like nobody cares about the CISA Plus. So sometimes I feel like I got it for no reason. Learn Python and electives. All right, so they do have places where you can learn Python and such, but your time will be so you'll be so focused on like you may be doing Linux in that particular portion, or you may be doing networking, and a lot of your time you'll be tied up in that. So to learn Python and these other things such as AWS, yeah, I doubt it. I doubt if you get to it. I glanced at it at one point. Excuse me, I glanced at it at one point, and then I said, I'm just gonna kind of stick with the task at hand, and then yeah, graduates. So it's saying that yeah, okay, so you get jobs like cybersecurity analyst, junior desktop technician, tech support engineer. Yeah, I know some people from our cohort that got this job. I know 4 of us have this job in terms of cybersecurity analyst, and I know a few people that got junior desktop technician. Um, I know for us, in the SOC we get paid more than that, more than this. I'm not sure what other people get paid, but I know we get paid more than that. So yeah, so I guess this is true. This is true. I guess maybe the average comes out to that, but yeah, we get paid more. I would think this would be more, but I guess it depends on your background. So sort of like a multi-variable problem. So what else? Um, and I guess what I'm saying is, if you have a degree and if you have some other skills, tech skills, then that might weigh in on what your salary would be when you exit out the program. So strengthen your tech professional profile. Yeah, you do a lot of like career development. So I definitely agree with this. The career development I think, is excellent because we did a lot of what we did in Per Scholas. We did the same thing in my business program. So um, it was the college credit. It was one college credit per class. Took like 4 business classes. So uh, for us, I think that the professional development with Per Scholas, I personally thought it was great. Especially looking at what I did when I was in college, and then what I did in Per Scholas in terms of professional development. It's like the same thing without the books being assigned. So I enjoy both. I think professional development. Shout out to Lonnie. Um, I think professional development in college was great, and I thought in Per Scholas was great too. So yeah, they definitely do. They definitely start with start your tech career wherever you are. We have people of all levels. We do have a professional network, right? And job placement. They definitely supported us. I had so just to kind of talk about the job placement, and my background is a little different. I had different offers coming out of the program, and I don't know if it's because it was necessarily because I have cybersecurity and it's a plus, but um, for me personally, I had some consulting gigs. I had some offers that paid more than what I'm getting paid now, but it wasn't in security, and it was more so of the same sort of like business analyst or consultant role, but it was in like digital transformation. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do security. So yeah, I had a lot of interviews coming out of the program. I was able to pick uh, I was able to pick what I wanted to do based on the people. The people at my company when I interviewed was really great. I thought I would enjoy working with them, and I do. So I think I made the right decision, and I was able to go into I was able to go into security, a role that I wanted to do, and it's technical, and I enjoy it, right? And I, as of now, I have the best boss I ever had, to be honest. He gets it. He loves football. Uh, the teams we could talk about later. Now, let's go over. I'm rambling. Let me go over to like what you'll learn. What you will learn. This is probably what everybody went for it. Introduction to Linux and network administration. Yes, I was comfortable with Linux going into this program. So the Linux part was like really easy, but there were some people struggling because Linux is something like you don't do, right? So if you're comfortable with Linux or you like fairly comfortable with Linux, then that would be a breeze. But if you never seen Linux before and have played with like a Raspberry Pi, never downloaded anything like let's say Kali or Ubuntu on your VM, yeah, it'll be a bit difficult. But it was fine, and I feel like we had a great instructor. So we had one instructor for Linux, one instructor for networking. So I had you can always ask for help. Now for networking, it was a little bit. I feel like networking was a little bit tough for me. I guess I never really paid attention or looked into or had any interest. I guess I'll say in networking, but I thought it was really cool. I never played with packet tracer, so we got to play with that and sort of build our topologies based on what kind of service we're running on a server and how would we build it, how would we segment the network. So that was cool. Yeah, and you'll learn a lot because sometimes I go sometimes I went down rabbit holes just when I figure out okay, this topology is cool. What else can I do with it in packet tracer? So you do a little bit of Cisco command line. It's you learn a lot, but the networking portion was definitely one of the most well, it was tough for me. Oh, and I didn't mention this was all remote, so we did everything remote. We couldn't go like in person physically play with the equipment, so that's why hence that's packet tracer. But yeah, I felt it was real. Yeah, so yeah. real enough, I guess. Um, so behavior analytics and security monitoring. What oh, so they're talking. Oh, yeah, security onion. I mean, I use security onion now, and we use security onion in the course. So we download security onion ISO, and then we get to working at it. That part is huge. If I had any feedback from scholars, I would say just kind of start off looking at security onion from the get without even knowing anything about security or whatever, and just throughout the course, just kind of go and through each little piece. Because once you talk about the once you're going through the um, let me see, Linux. Well, once we're going through the networking portion, it'll be cool to explain, certain packet captures. Uh, yeah, explain the networking portion. Like, okay, maybe we have some traffic over port. Let's say, and let's pick a weird port. Um, I don't know. Let's say 7869 or something, and then we see that we can go look up what that port is, commonly known for, and then we can also see what type of traffic is in that PCAP, right? And then we can see where's that domain. Let's say that IP, where is it resolving to? So you can. So while you're going through the networking portion and learning about all these things and learning about DNS, you can look at security onion as you go through it. You might not get it all at first, but once you get towards the end of the course, like that's when you really get into security onion. By the time you get there, you'll be pretty proficient in security onion. So yeah, so we do go through security onion. I think that's probably one of the best portions of the course, but it's at the end, and I feel like you don't get enough exposure to it. Get to play with it, become that sort of expert, the best expert you can be coming out of a 3 month program, give or take. So it says we gain exposure to tools. There are some different tools you'll get exposure to. I think we dealt with some like FTP file servers and things like that. So yeah, it's a lot of tools. It's a lot, and you may learn about some things, and um, you don't go in depth, but you have every opportunity once 4 o'clock comes to really say, okay, I want to learn more about this and dive in, and that's up to you, right? So hands-on training along with career development, right? We did that. Guest speakers. We had some people come in from a different cohort. I don't know if necessarily guest speakers, but yeah, this part, not so much. Um, so let's go. I didn't know I had all of this here. So all right, so icebreaker, yes. We talk about hacker news. I think this is one of my favorite parts. I love talking about hacker news. Um, so yeah, the lecture starts. You have lunch. Have some hands-on labs. So that's good. Yeah, that's right. The schedule is pretty much on point, except for you personally. You might go eat dinner, but you definitely be on your computer. At least I was. I like this stuff right a lot. So for me to stay on was fine. And can I click this here? Oh yeah, look at this. All right, so let's go to the curriculum. I probably should have started with this, crying out loud. But so week one, virtualization, Linux essentials. Yeah, Linux. I enjoy Linux, so this is fun. We started off right. Creating your brand is excellent. I thought this was excellent. Um, this is week one was pretty much on point. Bash. So we did some basic scripting like with Bash. Excuse me. And yeah, we had some interesting challenges. I don't know what the challenges in week two, like a competition or whatever, but yeah. And then personal development. That personal development is real, right? Since I did this in college, I was like, I already knew what to expect. But if nobody, right, if you never did any sort of personal development, and you take this serious, you will come out, on point, better than a lot of other candidates that didn't go through this program. So I like it. Yeah, so you kind of go through Linux. This is more Linux stuff, and yeah, you can learn a lot of Linux as long as you as long as you follow the course and you go deeper once the course is over. Right, all the stuff you didn't understand, go back and try to understand it as much as you can. So yeah, Neticat. I do have all these sort of Neticat Essentials certificates. This was good. The Linux was, again, I enjoyed it. Professional development. So yeah, that's okay. So that's networking. So yeah, networking again. This is where it was kind of getting me a little bit. I was like, all right, it's a little bit challenging, right? Maybe I should have studied, Net Plus or Network Plus or um, CCNA before I went in, and maybe that would have been a little bit more valuable. But yeah, this part was a little tough because configuring like the Cisco devices, I really had to YouTube and look up stuff to figure out how to do that properly. So it was challenging. It was fun though. Visually, it was really cool. Windows Server, Untangle Fire. Oh, I forgot about the firewall stuff. Suricata and all these things. That was yeah, that was cool. That's the first time I ever configured or messed with a firewall, and how to block certain outbound traffic and traffic on certain ports. That part was amazing. I really enjoyed it. I forgot all about it, but the firewall part was great. That was great. This part was my favorite when we started jumping into cybersecurity. Yeah, but to me, everything is cybersecurity because you need all these things to really understand like what the heck, So yeah, I think I would spend if I was to tell anybody, I would spend a lot of time on the networking. All of it really. Today, all of this is important, but if I had to think, the most important to my job today that will help the most is the networking portion. Networking portion followed by this. It's all important because we have to know it's all important. But if I just had to pick one that was the most, I would say for networking, just understanding your sort of topologies and stuff. But Linux is fairly important, but and the firewalls as well. Just know everything. So let's see, professional. Yeah, and then you start training for this, right? That's just studying and professional development. Week 8. This is so at this point you just kind of training for work. CISA Plus. You read the book. At first I wasn't gonna read the book. When I first started, I was like, I felt like I can pass this without reading, and I don't know. I just ended up reading the book because I was thinking if I fail this test, and I could have read this book that was, given to me for free, and I didn't because of some, I don't know, cockiness or something. Then I'll be upset with myself. So I ended up reading the entire book, and I enjoyed it. For technical books, I don't know. I tend to read those from cover to cover because it's just so much different stuff you can learn. So and it don't take long. I like reading books on Kindle. These sort of books on Kindle. So yeah. I had I think I had what did a Kindle? It was some kind of digital version. So week 10, same policies and frameworks and all that stuff. Yeah, that was good. We learned a lot. We learned a lot. So you're just kind of going through training. I guess the rest is training. You get the idea. This we didn't do week 13. We didn't go through any kind of Python and stuff like that. But I did do some Python. I actually have some stuff that I did after the course to learn a little bit of Python, and now we're learning some Python at my job now. and maybe I'll show you some of those challenges and what that look like. Let's see. Let's see, week 14, the cloud, no, nope. So then, yeah, the last week's was more so testing. All of the Python stuff becomes optional if you feel okay with your studies, pretty much. I think that's how it was, but I didn't really go through that. I thought I just want to stay focused towards the end, pass that exam, and I took the exam out at home. I took the Security Plus and the System Plus at home. It was great. So yeah, um, so I don't live in New York anymore, but I did attend the Per Scholas course in New York, and overall, okay, after everything, I think this is all. Let's see what else they have on this page. Yeah. So overall, I told you I enjoyed it. I still do talk to my instructors. Uh, well, I talked to Ty, but I don't know. I talked to Ty recently, but um, I'm willing to go talk to Prescolas if they ask me to their classes. I plan to help in the future. It's a great. I think it's a great program. I think the people there do their best to make everything comfortable for their students. I know some students who didn't have equipment. They help with that. Like that's great. So I know I'm gonna put my best foot forward, especially yeah, going forward. I'll try to give back a little bit. Now I did speak to one class. I got the opportunity to come back and speak to a class about my experience. So I was happy about that. So I'm happy to do that anytime. And then I was able to give a speech, a little speech at um, at the graduation. I was like, that's really dope. So yeah, so shouts out to Piscolas. Um, if you're thinking about it, I would say no. It's if you're able to like I don't know can afford being out 3 months or 4 months. I think you know I don't want to say I was lucky to get a job because I did work extremely hard when in the program, so I expected to get a job quickly. And some people, they think, okay, all day, 9 to 4, 9 to 5, the course was tough, so I want to go to sleep, I want to relax the next day. Maybe those people didn't necessarily, land a job, or they didn't, do a lot of work on their like LinkedIn and networking and so and things of that nature. So yeah. Anyway, without rambling, if you are thinking about Priscolas, it's not a scam like I thought it was. It's great people, and I would say just go hard. And if you do it, just go hard, and I think you'll do good. And maybe I'll let you all know how my experience is at my first job, like in cyber. Being there almost a year now, and see if y'all want to do this. So peace. I don't know what else to say, right? I'm forever a mentee. So cyber mentee. Kind of a spin from the cyber mentor. I took his class was actually the first class that I took um, in cyber, right? The ethical hacking course on Udemy. Anyhow, I'm rambling. I'm out. I'm leaving. Peace. Bye. Hope you got a lot out of this video. All right.